Hey guys, this is E with Scrapbooking with Me, and welcome to the collaboration from Rach and Bella Crafts. This one is Crafting a Garden Story, #Journal Jigsaw, and it is also featuring a special guest designer, Angela Kerr. A lot of you probably know her channel. She's a very good artist. She did half of the pages that I have here in front of you. Now, I say half of these pages because my printer, my old printer, gave up the ghost right in the middle of printing these, so I had all of them set to print, and then I had to get another printer, so I finished printing them. So I really don't know which ones are Angela's and which ones are Rachel's. So, but they're all beautiful. The good part about that is they coordinate perfectly, so you don't have to worry about is this go here, does that go there, because they made the kits that work perfectly together. I'm not going to flip through the kit. I'm just going to give you just some short views of some of the pages. Some of these I've got upside down, as you can see. That's thanks to my lovely printer. But they are absolutely gorgeous. They're gorgeous for spring. This is a wonderful spring journal, and I will be making a complete journal with this. There are a ton of wonderful artists in this collaboration. It runs from March the 15th to April the 15th. So I'm not going to go over the complete list, but if you'll look in the description below the video, you will see the link that will take you to each one of these YouTube channels. Now, I encourage you to go over and like, subscribe, and comment on these videos, because there's going to be giveaways at the end of all of this, just like Rachel always does. She is good about pulling some giveaways together and making sure that the viewers get their, I'll say, money's worth out of all this, even though it doesn't cost you a dime. All right, my day is today. I'm sharing this day with Tina from Shabby Debbie Doodah. Thank you so much, Tina. I am so happy I'm sharing this day with you. I have already watched her video. It's absolutely fantastic. Our prompt was Garden Glimmer Accents. Now, if you ask my kids, I have no clue what glimmer means. Or glamour either. So, but we are going to try to come up with something for this. Now, Tina's was supposed to do the bright and shabby, and she did a wonderful job with that. Mine is rustic and grungy. Y'all know I like grunge anyway sometimes, and I like kind of rustic. I like different, anything like that. But make sure that you check out the list of all of these wonderful YouTubers. As you can see, there are 2 full pages, and our daughter Melina is on the 1st of April. She's going to be the April Fool's girl. She's on the 1st of April with Artful Crafts. So hers is Charmed Garden Accents. So that's going to be a good one too. So check out all of those. Subscribe to their channels. I'm asking you guys to subscribe to their channels, like, and comment. You will not be disappointed. These are the kits. They will be linked below, so you can go over and purchase. You can purchase Angela's kit from her Etsy store and Rachel's kit from her Etsy store. I'll have them linked below. Now, you guys know I like to play around with envelopes, so that's what we're going to do today. I absolutely love them. I don't know. I've been trying to decide which one I wanted to use, and I don't know. I want to use them all. That's my problem. But I love this one with this little girl on there. I think that's a little girl, maybe. I love, love, love that one. Now, some of the pages run vertical. Some of them run horizontal. So that's a good thing. So you can use some of them for maybe tall tags if you want to. Or you can make a tall skinny journal, or a regular horizontal journal. So we're going to use this page. We'll probably use another, and I'm going to use this envelope. This is just a, let's see what size this is. It is 6.5 by 4.5, 4 5/8, about like that. But it's just like a card. It goes with maybe a greeting card or something like that. So I'm going to be using this one. Now I'm going to trim it down just a little bit. We're going to make something, again, very different. I've not made it before. Don't know if anybody else has or not, but it doesn't matter if they have, does it? I'm trimming mine down to 4 inches. I think that'll be a good size. I trimmed on the side that had the flap on it because I didn't need to use that flap. Now I'm going to put this on the top, and like I said, I want this little girl on there, I think. Or do I want those beautiful flowers? Ooh. We might put the flowers on there and then trim out our little girl and put her somewhere else in here. Let's do that. I'm thinking that might be a good idea. Now, when you trim your piece to go on here, you're going to leave about 1 inch back here at the back. Maybe a little bit more. I'll tell you exactly how much I'm leaving. So I want to cut it. And yeah, I'll mark and I will measure for you guys. Normally I don't, but this time I'm going to. I'm going to leave a little bit on this side too because I want to fold it in. I don't want any of this envelope showing. So this is about 1 inch on this side. Let's see. Yeah, about 1 inch. And then on this side, I'm going to leave about 1/2 inch. So I'm going to cut it right there. And then we are going to do the same thing on the height. So I'm just going to leave about 1/2 inch on both ends, here and here. That's going to be folded around. So let's go ahead and cut this and see what we can come up with. I've not even made a attempt to make one of these. I just had it kind of in my head. It may work. It may not work. Now, usually I say if it doesn't work, you'll never see this video, but I have to get a video up today. So if it doesn't work, you're still going to see the video. I have to get this video up for Rachel. I really was supposed to have it up earlier so that, you know, they're on England time. And so I was supposed to have it up earlier, but yesterday I had issues with my printer, my computer, and I had to have someone out. My son-in-law had to come over and work on that. He's not home a lot, so his only time that he could work on it was yesterday. So he had to come over and work on that for me. So we spent most of the day working on computers and printers. And then I had a little bit of other unexpected company that I didn't know about. So I spent my day doing that yesterday. I got part of it filmed, but then I'm having to kind of finish up today. Now I'm just marking this around the edges. You could go ahead and fold it if you wanted to, but I just marked so that I'll kind of know where to fold. I am going to use my scoreboard here because you guys know there's no way I can fold even. So I'm going to fold that right there. We're going to fold right there. And I'm hoping that I'm making these right. Hoping. Right there. And then I'm just going to flip it around and do it on this end. If it's a little bit off, we can always adjust it. It's not a big deal. Not the end of the world. So we'll go ahead and fold these. Okay, now I'm going to cut out the corners because we don't want those corners in there. Just make extra bulk. If this doesn't work, I've got plenty of paper. I can just do it again. Okay. It's going to go on the front side of your envelope. Let's make sure that looks like I may have to adjust the height a little bit, and that's okay. We can do that, I think. All right, we're going to lay our envelope down in the middle of this. This side, we're going to go ahead and cover. We're going to pull this little flap up there and cover that up. So I'm just going to kind of make sure that it's right in the fold there. Fold that over just like that. Now, this side, we're going to fold up. Like that. And the same with this side. Okay, now we have this big piece back here, or over here, I should say. This is not going to be a wraparound. I know you're thinking, well, that's just going to be a normal wraparound, Edith. You've done that 100 times. No, it's not going to be a wraparound. Now, you can glue your envelope down. I didn't glue mine down in the beginning, but you can go ahead and put glue under there before you fold these sides up if you want. Just going to put it right there on the bottom. I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to fold it over, because I want it to be a little bit stronger. If you printed it on cardstock, then you're good to go. I didn't. So I'm just going to fold that over and then glue it. If you cut yours off a little bit too short, then just add another piece of paper to the back of it. Anything to make this a little bit stronger. This is going to be a flap, but it's not going to be a wraparound flap. So just keep that in mind. Now, you could have put your wraparound on this side. I really wish I had to put it on this side, but for some reason I've got it over here, which is going to be absolutely fine. It's not a problem, but you can also put it on this side. Now I'm going to go ahead and cover the back, and I'm going to cover this all the way. Not going to put glue in here, but I'm going to glue this up here together. And then we're going to open it down here in just a minute, I think. So let me grab some paper, and no, I'm not going to put that one there. Let's see. What shall we put there? Something a little bit different. Let me grab a piece of paper. Some of these my printer printed more than once because it was in the process of kicking the bucket. So I think I'm just going to put this one on there. I'm going to put this side. And I'm just going to cover it like that all the way out to the edge right there. Right here. Just like you was covering the back part of like a journal, piece of cardboard for a journal. Same way. Alright. I'm going to trim this off. Save those birds. We'll use those on another page maybe. Now I'll give you measurements in a moment. Right now I'm trying to get my measurements for myself. But when I get all of these, I'll give you some measurements so that you can kind of prepare yours the same way if you want. Okay, we're going to cover that like that. Let's see, is this side the right side up or the wrong side up? I don't really know. I'm going to say that's the right way up. It may be the wrong way up, but that's what we're going to do anyway. Now, I'm going to put my glue on the envelope because I don't want to cover in here with glue. So just follow the trace of your envelope. You may have an envelope that comes all the way up. If you do, that's good. You don't have to worry about making sure that you get it glued in the right places. And then I am going to put a little glue down through here just to close that pocket up. And that is going to be a pocket. Okay. Just centering it just a little bit. And you guys know I don't worry too much about perfection. I don't think there is such thing as a perfectionist. You might want to be, but nobody is perfect, and nothing that we make is absolutely perfect. But that's the good part about it, because it's all handmade. It's all good, regular stuff. Now, I don't have a little piece of paper right there. You can put a piece of scrap on there. You can put washi tape on there. I'm going to think about it just a minute as to what I want to put on there. I'm going to grunge it up a little bit since mine is grungy. I should have pulled out my yellow ink, but I didn't. It's okay. We're going to use this. This takes ink very, very well, this color. It makes it look really, really good. All right. There's that. Now I'm going to open this up just a little bit on this end, and you'll see why in a minute. Not It's not going to be a wraparound flip, I can tell you that. Just give me a minute. I'm just going to cut. Okay, my glue was still wet. Don't cut yours when your glue's still wet because it won't cut well, but I did it anyway because I don't want to wait. Very impatient. Okay, I'm going to trim it just a little bit more because I got it a little crooked because my glue was uneven. Because my glue was not dry, so I cut it a little bit uneven. But we're going to fix it. See, that's what happens when you don't wait for your glue to dry. Right there. See that? It just makes a big old mess. Sometimes I can cut it better with my scissors anyway. Okay. That should be good to go. So we've got this side opened up, as you can see. Now, I am going to run, this is where I should have glued my envelope down, and I didn't. I didn't glue it all the way around. Glue your envelope down. I'll tell you that. I am going to run my glue in there and just glue the envelope down to my paper. Like I said, I'm making this for the first time, so I'm learning as I go, just like I'm teaching you. Okay, that side, the other side is glued. This side was the only one that wasn't glued. Now, my envelope is white, so I'm not going to worry about putting anything on the inside of it. I may put a little ink in there, just again to make it a little grungy. But that's it. That's all I'm putting in there. Okay. So there is our piece right there. I think that's cute. Now, we're going to pretend that this is our journal page that we want to put this on. This is definitely not our journal page. I keep looking at that upside down for some reason. This would not be a page that I would put it on. I tell you what, let's get one of these others that's a little bit more solid, and we'll pretend on that one. Let's pretend on this one. This one will be a little bit better, and we might just go ahead and glue it down on this one. We're going to put it on, this is our fold right here. We're going to put it on this side. It's going to be a gateway tag. Now, that's just a name I came up with this morning. Have no idea if there's anything out there that's named that. But what we're going to do with this is we're going to put glue right here and glue this down somewhat near the center of our page. There again, doesn't have to be perfect. Just keep that in mind. We're going to take glue on the flap, that flap that we left. This is exactly what we're going to do with it. You are going to put it down, like I said, somewhat near. It doesn't have to be exact. Just kind of eyeball it like that. Then this will open up, and I will put some paper. Whoopsie. And I am going to put a little piece of paper down through here just to cover that white up. And I think I'll just use this since we've already got a little bit of that there. So let's go ahead and tear us a little piece. As I said, making this up as we go. You could have run this paper longer so you wouldn't have to do this, but you know, when I make it up as I go, I don't even think about that kind of stuff. All right, we will put this right down through there. I'm going to go ahead and tear this end off. And I'm going to go ahead and ink the sides of it. Again, I'm the grungy, so. Okay, that's run down through there. Like I said, you can also use just your washi tape or whatever you want to. Just extend your paper a little more. I'm going backwards because I have not made one of these, so I'm thinking on my feet, which is not really a good thing when you've got my feet. Okay, so it's going to be a gateway tag. That means back here, we're going to put an image that's going to be kind of a secret little image. Here, we're going to put a little piece of paper where we can journal on here. You'll have a little secret journaling spot. And then here, we're going to slide in a tag in there. So let's first find us an image that we want to put here. They've got lots of pieces of ephemera in here, lots of little images, so it shouldn't be hard for us to come up with something to put there. Now, I didn't see a cutout that I necessarily wanted to put behind here, but I love this. So I think I will use this as a cutout and put there. I'm just going to kind of sort of measure it just to give me a height and a width maybe. Okay, and then maybe... All right, I have no idea if that's going to be the right size, but I'm going to cut it big and we can always trim it down. Going to be about the right size. I am going to trim a little of this off at the bottom. And then we'll see about how tall we need to make this. I'm going to cut off right here, and then we may have to trim a little bit more. I don't know. So if we put this down here, we close our envelope. Yeah, we're going to trim a little bit more on this side. We don't want this to show. It's going to be kind of a little secret. Little secret hideaway. All right, and then pull that's going to be a good size. Now, this doesn't show, it doesn't pop being on here, so I'm going to put something behind it to make it pop a little bit more. And I think let's use a piece of our straw paper. This is some straw paper that I've got from Rachel. Not Rachel on here, but Rachel from Italy. Let's try to say England. Rachel from Italy, Roxy Creations. I order my straw paper from her and a lot of my old book pages. And I'm just going to put a small border around it just to make it pop. Just like that. I'll tear this off. Let's see. I may not be able to get this straight tearing it off like this. We'll see. Well, it's not straight, but we'll work with it. We'll straighten it up. I can grab my scissors and straighten it up. Like I said, a lot of times I can cut better with my scissors than I can with a trimmer anyway. On the days that I don't have the shaky hands, I can really trim better. Okay, a little bit more off this side. Okay, there we go. There is no perfection police around here, so it is what it is. We're going to go ahead and put some ink around this. Right, and then I'm going to glue that down right there, and I'm just going to check again. Yes, it covers it all the way up, so we're going to put glue on here. Now, let me tell you, you could leave this, and we might just do that. We could leave this and have another pocket up here, another little secret pocket, so let's just do that. I'm not going to punch a pull in it because I don't want to cut any of my photo. But it could be like a little secret pocket that you have behind here. Let's put it down like that. Push in on the top just a little bit so that you have a little bit of extra room right here where you can tuck things in there. We can put a little tag in there. Now, on here, I want to put... I guess you could write on this, but I'd rather put some more paper on there that's a little bit easier seen to write on. So, what am I going to use? Let's use a piece of this, since these flowers have got some pink in them. This is some, I can't remember, avocado dyed paper, maybe, that I ordered off of Etsy. Don't remember who I ordered it from. I would have to look it back up. And I'm not even going to worry about it if I'm getting it even, if I'm cutting it straight, if I'm tearing it straight. I'm not going to worry about that. This is going to be a grungy one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of rough it up a little bit. And then I'm going to take my ink and really rough it with that ink. Make it look a little bit more old and grungy. Then we're just going to do some little folds in here. Put a little ink on that fold that way, a little ink that way. There. There. And maybe a little bit up here. Just to give it a little bit more aged look. And then we'll glue that down right there. And yes, I know I'm covering up some pretty flowers, but we can print that page again and again and again. So, not going to stress over that part. Press that down really well. So there's a good journaling spot. Fold that over. Now we've got a opening here where we're going to put a tag. We can do a little bit of embellishing on the front of this. They have some really pretty pieces in here that you can embellish with. Let's see. This is so pretty as it is. I hate to do anything else. I may just put a label on it, truthfully. Got some pretty little tickets in here. Let's just cut out one of those and put right there. Let's see. Which one do we want? I think I'm going to bring in a little bit of this blue since we've got just a touch of blue right here. So we'll take this little ticket. So let's see. Let's grunge it a little bit and see if it's going to stand out enough. If not, we can put something behind it. I think it does. I think it just brings that blue over here a little bit. So I'm good with that. All right, now in the sense of using something from Shabby Dabby Doodah, because I use a lot of her labels and things, I am going to use one of her numbers. And I'm going to use the blue one, I think. Do I have a darker blue? I think I've used all the dark blues. So we'll have to go with that one. And these are from Tina's Shabby Dabby Doodah. They're from her Etsy store. You guys know I love numbers, so I use these a lot. As a matter of fact, I've already used up the dark ones, the dark blue ones. Let's see. Is it going to go up there? I may put it down here. I kind of like it right there. Yeah, like that. Okay. I don't think this needs anything else on it because I don't want to cover up those flowers. This side, we've got this. You could go ahead and put something on here if you want, a little stamp or whatever. But let's make a tag to go in here. Now, they've got plenty of tags in this kit. If you want to just use one of their pre-made tags. They have lots of them. And I don't think that's going to be wide enough. So I'm going to make my own tag. And I think I'm going to make it out of this piece of paper because I love this. And let's see. I want it about the width of this because I want it, when I put my little pull on there, I want it to stick out just a little bit. So I'm putting a little tiny mark right there. Now, in order to make this tag sturdy and to not have to put anything behind it, like a piece of chipboard or a piece of, scrap paper or anything like that, I'm going to fold it. And then this side you can actually journal on. So we're going to go ahead and tear this off. Then I'll need to shorten it. And I want to keep my flowers, so I'm going to just fold up. This is my measuring skills right here. I can measure. I was taught to measure, but I don't like to measure. I'd rather just either put my thumbnail in there and get me a measurement or something like that. I'm not not too particular. Doesn't have to be perfect for me. Look at my fingernails, they're already colored. Okay, so that's going to be my tag, and I'm going to make sure that this is going to be the right size. Now I need to make it a little smaller, so we're going to tear off just a little bit at the top. I'll tell you, we're going to cut that because I can't really see into that, so I would probably tear it the wrong way. Just cut that off and see if that works. Let's see. Okay, I need to trim it off the other way a little bit, looks like. Just want to make sure that it's going all the way, and it is. So I'm going to trim it a little bit on this side. I'd rather have it a little bit too big as have it too small. It's easier to keep trimming. You just can't add back. Let's try that. Okay, that's going to be perfect right there. Now, I am going to glue this together, and then I'm going to just round the corners, and that's going to be our tag. Take your bone folder, make sure you press that glue all the way out to the edges. Then we'll go ahead and round the corners. Then we'll do some inking. Now we want to put a pull on this side because we want to be able to pull that out. And I'm just going to cut a pull out of a piece of scrap that I have. I think this piece right here will work. I'm going to go ahead and let's see. I don't really want to cover up my flower. I'm just going to put it very slightly on there like that. Now you could also put a little eyelet in here and have a little charm hanging on it if you wanted, a little flat charm that wouldn't interfere with the thickness of the journal, but that, see, got a little tab hanging out there, and I may do that on that. I don't know right yet. Now we need a tag to go in here, and I think we can use one of their tags that's already pre-made, because I think they're going to be about the right size. What did I do with them? I had them in my hand just a minute ago. Okay, let's do, we don't want to do this one because it's almost the same as the back. This one, almost the same again as some of this. So let's go with this one. And I'm going to back it and then trim it out. And I'm just going to back it with some of this paper from Rachel. Trim it off a little bit more so I don't waste my paper. You can get straw paper somewhere else around here. I don't have a clue. I just buy mine from her. I buy it about once a year and I just get a big bundle, whatever I can get from her. It does cost a little bit in shipping, but you know, when you can't find it around here or you can't find what you're looking for, and I'm willing to pay a little bit to get it shipped to me. Okay. All right, now this is not going to be a very thick tag, but that's okay. It doesn't need to be because we've got a lot of bulk going on that page already. But once the glue dries, it will thicken up. These are always a little more flimsy when the glue is still wet. And that sometimes they try to curl and that kind of thing, but you can straighten them out easily. All right, now I take my bone folder, and this is the ergonomic bone folder. I use it because I have so many problems with my wrist and my grip, and it works great. And see, it flattens that tag out nice. So I think, yeah, that's going to go in there perfectly. Okay, I'm going to put a little pull on the top of this one as well. So let me see. I might just use, see what scrap I have. Let's just use this scrap. That'll work. Okay, let's go ahead and ink around the tag. And we'll do a little bit of embellishing on there. I think I'll cut out one of these and use it. Yeah, that's going to be cute, but I'm going to put a little piece of book page behind it to make it pop a little bit more. Just going to use this one. Okay, we'll put that right there. But I want something else on here too, something more on there. So let me see what else I can find in their little pile of goodies that we got. Okay, this page is a very cute page. We may, let's see how that and that goes together. Yeah, I might cut this purple little, I guess it's a little banner or a little something out right here. Okay, I think we'll put that there, like that maybe, and then this one down here. And I might put a little label across there. I don't think they have labels in this kit. If they do, I didn't print them because I haven't seen them in here. But I've got plenty of labels, so let me find a label that would kind of work there. You know, we could put that little label right there that says bee. That's off of one of my freebie kits, I think. And since this is a garden, you know, there's going to be plenty of bees. So let's see how we want to lay this now. Put that right there maybe. Or up here. I think I want that on up a little higher. I'll put that right there. I have to hold it up to see if I'm getting it even, somewhat even. And then I'm going to put this one down. Right across the end of it. And then we'll put this little guy down. I want it to touch this and then touch the edge over here. There we go. So there is that little cute tag. And we're just going to slide it in there, hopefully. I said that the other day and I had actually glued a spot so I didn't slide. It didn't slide so well, but there, we got that one in there. Fits perfectly. Right here, I'd like to have another little label. And like I said, I don't, if I miss the labels, I apologize, but with my messing up in printing that I had going on, it was a little bit hard for me to make sure that everything printed, but I know you guys have got labels like I do. I'm thinking about putting a little label right here of some kind. Let's just put this one that says number 731. Now this is just in some of my labels. This is not one of Tina's numbers, but I'm sure she's got some that are similar to these if you want to check those out. I'm just going to put it right there. Just gives that bottom a little bit more. And like I said, you can punch a little hole in that, put an eyelet in it, have a little charm hanging on it. And then you've got this side. Now that stays closed very well, but if you feel like it wouldn't, you could put something on here to make sure that it closed. Now that's going to be on the back side. This is going to be where our journal stitches into the signature. So this would be a double page. And now that I don't have anything printed on the back of here, I'm going to have to glue a page in, which is fine. And then that would flip over, and that's what you have on that side. All right, guys, that is my creation for Rach and Bella Crafts collaboration. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure that you go down and check out all of the other channels. Go over and show them some love. Subscribe to their channel because there are going to be plenty of giveaways. We will talk to you guys later. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.